Hey guys, Eric here with Media Unlocked, and today I'm going to be giving you some quick tips on how to set up and balance your Glidecam systems. Today I've got the Glidecam K500. You can check out the Glidecam K500 right here in this video. What we're going to be doing today is not only attaching a DSLR camera to the top of this, but also a monitor. And the monitor that we're going to be using is the Aperture V screen. It's the model VS3, and it's got one of the big Sony batteries on the back. And the camera that we're going to be using today is the Canon T3i with a battery grip and 2 batteries in the battery grip. Now it's important to keep track of all the weight that you're going to be putting onto the top of this to make sure that you have enough weight at the bottom of your Glidecam to keep everything balanced. Some of the techniques that we'll be going over today is adjusting the shaft here and also adjusting your gimbal, which is a little lever right here on the top. And we'll kind of go over a little bit about what those do when you're balancing and how to keep all the weight of the camera and the monitor from overpowering your weight of your sled. So let's jump right into it and we'll get going. So the first thing you're going to want to do here is unscrew the stage or the camera mounting platform. Now on this one we have the quick plate that we're going to be using for the monitor, so we're going to need an extra screw to screw in the camera. Now, if you're not using the Glidecam brand, the idea we're pushing here is being able to mount your camera on one side and then your monitor on the opposite side. So just look for that when you're using your Glidecam, but the idea still remains the same. So you can see our setup we have here. We have the monitor on the back and the camera on the front. If you notice, when I mounted the camera, I didn't mount it in the center. I mounted it a little off to the side. Now, this is because the camera's center of gravity is not straight up and down. It's a little off to the side because of the hand grip. So be aware of that whenever you're mounting your camera to the platform. You want to find the camera's center of gravity. Because of this, I've scooted it over a little bit. This is going to make it easier for us when it comes to balancing. So the next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead and attach your HDMI cable from your monitor to your camera. And this is how we have it set up here. You don't want your cables to be dangling or flopping around. You want everything to be pretty secure. I've just gone ahead and tucked mine in the little knobs here so that it's not going to be moving around when it comes to flying. Now, if you're going to be using any type of microphones or attaching any lights or anything to the top of your camera, go ahead and do that now. You're going to want to put all the weight on your camera that you're going to be flying with on it before you start balancing. So after this, we're going to jump into balancing this rig. So the easiest way to balance is to basically have your system resting on a lighting stand or something. It's going to make your fine tuning and adjusting a lot easier. So the first thing that I notice here is that it is way top heavy. So the way to counteract that is by dropping your sled. So we're going to go ahead and drop it all the way down to the bottom here as far as it'll go. And already you can kind of see that has helped keep the camera from completely flipping upside down. But now we're tilting really forward. So what I'm going to do, instead of making the adjustments up on the head like people usually do, since it's such a big adjustment, I'm going to actually extend out the weight on the sled. And this is the cool thing about the Glidecam K500. It has a similar sled to some of the Glidecam models, so it helps you fine-tune your balancing a lot faster. So now I feel like we're pretty much almost there. We just have some fine-tuning to do. For your forward and backwards adjustments, if you loosen up these little black knobs here, you can use this black knob on the back to adjust your camera and your monitor forward and backwards. So I'm going to do a little fine tuning here. And a lot of the balancing comes down to preference and who's actually flying. I know some operators prefer to have the camera tilted up a little bit when they're flying. So the next thing I'm going to fine tune here is the bottom. And then this is going to be the left and right of the camera mounting platform. So if you loosen up these screws here on the bottom, you can use this middle screw on the side to adjust the left and right of your setup. And we're pretty much there already. So now that everything looks pretty much balanced here, we're just going to swing it over and do what we call a drop test. The idea here is that it's going to take 3 seconds for your camera to reach fully vertical. So we're just going to do like a couple little tests here. So it'll be 1, 2, 3. So that's pretty much dropped, passing our drop test here. And the way to adjust this, if you want your drop time to be longer or slower, is by adjusting your gimbal. So we can make the gimbal move the gimbal up to just right underneath the camera, and your drop time will be much faster. Sometimes people fine-tune their drop when it comes to if you're going to be Steadicamming outside and there's going to be a lot of wind. The faster your drop time is, the more resistance it's going to take to mess up your shot. So, but it's also, on the flip side of that, it's going to be the more resistance to move your camera around as you're flying. So you just got to kind of play with it and figure it out for yourself. But that's why the Glidecam K500 is so awesome. You can adjust the gimbal. I know on some of the Glidecam models you can't. It's a fixed gimbal, which really hurts, I think, its ability to balance in general. So once we get this back set at our 3 seconds here, we'll be ready to fly. So let's go. So there you have it, a little bit about balancing your Glidecam system with a monitor and other equipment on the top of your camera mounting platform. I'm Eric here with Media Unlocked. Be sure to check out our blogs at MediaUnlocked.net and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel for other educational videos and tutorials on how to use your gear and use your gear more effectively. See you next time.